Hello, multiverse travelers. I'm Celestial, your navigator through the wild worlds of film, fandom, and fire fancasts, and this is Pop Nexus. Buckle up, we've got a new timeline to explore. Today we're diving deep into that brand new Superman trailer from James Gunn's DCU. We're talking first looks at Hawkgirl, the engineer, Mr. Terrific, Guy Gardner, Krypto, and even some major theories involving Lex Luthor, possible Ultraman, and a mysterious pocket prison. Now let's begin talking about Hawkgirl in the Superman trailer. Personally, I'm not a fan of the costume. The color scheme they went with, white, orange, and black, isn't really doing it for me. And the leather look, not loving that either, especially when her helmet looks way more armored and metallic. It just feels like there's a disconnect. If it were up to me, I think I would have gone in a different direction, maybe given her a crop top, made the jacket longer, and slapped the Maxwell Lord logo on it to tie things together. I understand the costume might serve a narrative purpose, possibly linked to Maxwell Lord's influence. But visually, it just looks questionable to me. Maybe it's just my personal taste, I like things to be more stylish and visually striking. That's just my opinion, though. As for the casting, I'll admit, at first, I wasn't sold. But I'm warming up to this casting choice. Isabella Merced has this natural charm, she's definitely a likable actress, and I think she could bring something interesting to the role. We also found out that Hawkgirl's wings are going to be organic, not part of her suit, which is a bold choice. James Gunn confirmed this detail, indicating a departure from previous mechanical interpretations. But here's the thing, in the Peacemaker trailer, there's a shot of her, and we didn't really see the wings. That's got me a little nervous. I really hope they don't go the CW route where the wings just magically disappear and reappear when convenient. I get that it saves money and render time, shout out to the VFX teams working with box limitations, but if you're going with biological wings, then commit. I want to see them all the time, give us that Maleficent energy. Also, I'm not crazy about how small they look. Could just be the angle, but I was hoping for something a bit more grand and intimidating, especially to help compensate for the actress's shorter frame. Isabella Merced stands at 5 feet 1 inch, so larger wings could really add presence and make her silhouette pop in group shots or action scenes. Now, let's talk about Mr. Terrific in the Superman trailer. Honestly, out of the 3 members of the so-called Justice Gang, which, according to reports, is what they're being called in the film, Mr. Terrific looks the best and most accurate to his comic book counterpart. The team, made up of Hawkgirl, Guy Gardner, and Mr. Terrific, has been getting attention under that name, but to be real, I'm not a fan of that. They should have gone with Justice Guild. Instead, it has more weight and history behind it. That said, I'm guessing the name, Justice Gang, probably comes from a story reason, and honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if Guy Gardner came up with it himself. Mr. Terrific's design is solid. He's played by Eddie Gathegi, and he looks almost straight out of the comics. We see him using his iconic T-spheres, which is huge, since those floating orbs are a major part of his identity in the comics. They're used for surveillance, analysis, hacking, even combat. Seeing them featured is a great sign that they're sticking close to the source material. There's also a moment in the trailer where he's seen with Lois Lane in a strange, almost barren environment, which some fans think might be the Phantom Zone. It's not confirmed, but visually it has that eerie, isolated vibe, so it could be some kind of dimensional pocket or Kryptonian tech space. Now, one thing I don't love. There's a shot of Mr. Terrific flying alongside Hawkgirl and Guy Gardner using what looks like a floating chair or some kind of exosuit. And I gotta be honest, it looks a little goofy. Visually, it just doesn't work for me. In the comics, he uses the T-spheres to fly. They generate anti-gravity and give him that slick, high-tech edge. I think that would have looked way cleaner and more faithful to the source material. So I'm kind of happy it gets destroyed in one shot during the trailer. Not gonna lie, it feels like a silent promise that we're not gonna see much more of that flying chair setup. And I'm good with that. Still, overall, Mr. Terrific is shaping up to be one of the strongest looking characters in the trailer. I'm really hoping the movie leans into his intellect and tech-savvy personality the way the comics do. Now, let's talk about Guy Gardner in the Superman trailer. We get a glimpse of his powers in action. He uses his Green Lantern ring to create a giant green energy hand to fend off soldiers, which is a classic move straight from the comics. However, I have to say, I'm not a fan of his overall look. I know his haircut is accurate to some comic iterations, but visually, it doesn't appeal to me. His costume also seems off. It's been noted that his suit, along with those of Hawkgirl and Mr. Terrific, features the Maxwell Lord logo, suggesting they're part of a team possibly funded or organized by Lord. Considering Mr. Terrific's costume remains faithful to the comics with just the Maxwell Lord logo added, I feel they could have taken a similar approach with Guy and Hawkgirl. The current design choices seem more aligned with James Gunn's stylistic preferences, which might not resonate with everyone. The team's name being the Justice Gang, which I'm not too keen on. Justice Guild would have been a better fit, but perhaps there's a story-driven reason for this choice. Given Guy Gardner's brash personality, it's plausible he coined the name himself. As for leadership dynamics, I hope Mr. Terrific takes the lead. Logically, his intellect and demeanor make him a suitable leader over someone as impulsive as Guy. Lastly, regarding Maxwell Lord's portrayal by Sean Gunn, while I understand the casting choice due to him being James Gunn's brother, it doesn't sit well with me personally. It's a subjective opinion, but I envisioned a different actor for that role. Nicholas Hoult portrays Lex Luthor, who emerges as a central antagonist in the film. The trailer showcases Luthor branding Superman as an alien threat, positioning himself as a formidable adversary. Alongside him is Angela Spica, also known as the Engineer, played by Maria Gabriela de Faria. The Engineer, equipped with nanotechnology-infused abilities, is seen engaging in a dramatic battle with Superman on a baseball field and launching an assault on the Fortress of Solitude. Her portrayal aligns with her comic book counterpart, combining aspects of nanotechnology and liquid machinery to form a formidable opponent. Based on what we've seen, she's using her nanotech abilities in a way that's pretty accurate to the comics. In the trailer, there's a scene where she battles Superman on a baseball field, crafting various weapons from her body using nanotechnology. This aligns well with her comic book counterpart, Angela Spica, who can manipulate her nanite-infused blood to create weapons and other constructs, similar to characters like Blue Beetle. However, visually, there's a noticeable difference. In the comics, the Engineer often appears with a shiny, metallic look, think along the lines of Silver Surfer or Colossus from the X-Men. This liquid metal aesthetic is a hallmark of her character, stemming from the nanites in her bloodstream that allow her to morph and adapt her form. In contrast, the film opts for a darker, more matte appearance. While this gives her a more grounded and perhaps stealthier look, I feel it misses the opportunity to showcase the striking, otherworldly visuals that her comic design offers. If I were designing her for the film, I might have blended the darker tones with the classic metallic sheen to maintain that iconic visual impact while fitting the film's aesthetic. That said, she looks fine overall, and I'm curious to see how her character develops on screen. A significant point of speculation revolves around a mysterious figure seen alongside Lex Luthor and the Engineer in the trailer. Rumors suggest that this character is Ultraman, traditionally known in the comics as an evil counterpart of Superman from a parallel universe. However, in James Gunn's adaptation, it's rumored that Ultraman is reimagined as a clone of Superman created by Lex Luthor, rather than a multiversal doppelganger. This theory is supported by set photos and toy listings indicating Ultraman's presence in the film. This approach would provide a fresh take on the character, grounding Ultraman's origin within the film's universe and avoiding the complexities of multiverse narratives. It also opens avenues for exploring themes of identity and duality, as Superman confronts a version of himself manipulated for nefarious purposes. Another villain introduced in the trailer is the Hammer of Borovia, a massively armored character with flying capabilities and an ocular laser attack. This character appears to be an original creation for the film, with promotional materials indicating that the Hammer of Borovia attacks downtown Metropolis as retribution for Superman's political interventions in Borovia, causing significant destruction and casualties. The inclusion of the Hammer of Borovia adds a geopolitical dimension to the film's conflict, challenging Superman's role on the global stage and the repercussions of his actions. The Hammer's use of heat vision-like powers further fuels the Ultraman theory, indicating a potential reimagining of the character within the film's narrative. The presence of multiple antagonists, Lex Luthor, the Engineer, Ultraman, and the Hammer of Borovia, suggests a complex narrative where Superman faces threats on multiple fronts. Lex Luthor's manipulation, the Engineer's technological prowess, Ultraman's existential threat, and the Hammer of Borovia's geopolitical challenge collectively test Superman's ideals and resilience. This multifaceted approach allows the film to explore various themes, such as the ethical use of power, identity, and the consequences of interventionism, all while staying grounded in character-driven storytelling. In the Superman trailer, there's a subtle yet intriguing moment featuring Will Reeve, the real-life son of Christopher Reeve, making a cameo as a news anchor. He reports on major floods causing widespread suffering, which some fans believe could be an Easter egg referencing the catastrophic flooding of Gotham City scene at the end of The Batman, directed by Matt Reeves. That said, James Gunn has stated that the Batman exists in its own continuity, outside of the DC Universe DCU he's building. So officially, this flood might not be connected, it could just be world building for the new DCU or even a coincidence. Still, I honestly hope they reconsider and find a way to bring Matt Reeves' Batman into this new universe. Pattinson's version of the character is compelling, grounded, and visually fits the tone Gunn seems to be creating. Merging these worlds could be a powerful move, especially if they want a unified and emotionally rich DCU. In the trailer for James Gunn's Superman, Anthony Carrigan's portrayal of Rex Mason, aka Metamorpho, is showcased in a compelling light. One notable scene depicts Metamorpho transforming his hand into green kryptonite, effectively subduing Superman. This creative use of his elemental transformation abilities highlights his potential as both an adversary and an ally. The trailer hints at Metamorpho being under Lex Luthor's control, possibly due to coercion. Fan theories suggest that Luthor may be blackmailing Metamorpho by holding his loved ones captive. One theory posits that a woman seen in a pink dress within the trailer could be Metamorpho's girlfriend, whom Luthor is using as leverage. Additionally, leaked toy sets have introduced a character referred to as Baby Joey, speculated to be Metamorpho's son. This has led to further conjecture that Luthor might be using Metamorpho's family to manipulate him into acting against Superman. Despite his initial opposition to Superman, the trailer suggests a turning point for Metamorpho. In a subsequent scene, he appears to assist Superman by generating sunlight within their confinement, potentially restoring Superman's powers. This act indicates a possible shift in allegiance, hinting at a redemption arc where Metamorpho breaks free from Luthor's influence. Metamorpho's portrayal in the upcoming Superman film presents a complex character caught between coercion and conscience. His unique abilities and the moral dilemmas he faces add depth to the narrative, promising an engaging storyline that explores themes of control, redemption, and heroism. In the trailer, there's a compelling scene where Superman is confined in a high-tech glass prison alongside Metamorpho. Notably, Metamorpho is seen transforming his hand into green kryptonite, effectively subduing Superman. This setting has led to speculation about whether this facility is the infamous Phantom Zone or a different kind of containment. Some fans theorize that this could be a pocket dimension prison, akin to the one introduced in the Peacemaker series, where Peacemaker's father utilized a pocket dimension as his base of operations. Given Lex Luthor's technological prowess, it's plausible that he could have developed a similar extra-dimensional space to detain metahumans like Superman and Metamorpho. While the trailer doesn't explicitly confirm the nature of this prison, the advanced technology and the presence of multiple superpowered individuals suggest a facility beyond conventional means. Whether it's the Phantom Zone or a newly conceptualized pocket dimension, this setting adds a layer of complexity to Lex Luthor's character and his methods of neutralizing threats. In the Peacemaker series, for instance, Peacemaker's father utilizes a pocket dimension as his base of operations, accessible through advanced technology. This precedent within the DC universe suggests that Lex Luthor could have developed or harnessed similar technology to create a secure prison for metahumans. Given Lex Luthor's known genius and resources, it's plausible he constructed a pocket dimension prison to detain Superman and others, possibly as part of a larger scheme. This would also explain the unique environment and the presence of multiple metahuman prisoners. While the exact nature of the prison remains unconfirmed, both the Phantom Zone and a pocket dimension are viable explanations within the DC universe's lore. The choice between them might hinge on narrative needs and thematic resonance within the film. Now let's talk about Lex Luthor, portrayed by Nicholas Hoult, is seen breaching the Fortress of Solitude alongside Angela Spica, also known as the Engineer. This incursion is significant, as the fortress has traditionally been Superman's sanctuary, housing advanced Kryptonian technology and secrets. The Engineer, utilizing her nanotechnology-based abilities, confronts Krypto the Superdog in a dynamic battle, showcasing her powers in a manner that aligns with her comic book depiction. While some fans have noted a darker aesthetic to her appearance compared to the comics, the portrayal remains faithful to her character's essence. A particularly intriguing element in the trailer is a massive, star-like orb emitting a green glow. This has led to speculation that the orb could be a Sun Eater, a cosmic entity known for consuming stars, drawing inspiration from the All-Star Superman storyline. The green hue surrounding the orb suggests the involvement of Green Lantern, specifically Guy Gardner, who appears to be attempting to contain or combat the entity using his power ring. This scenario hints at a significant threat that may require the combined efforts of multiple heroes to overcome. The trailer for James Gunn's Superman offers a glimpse into a complex narrative involving Lex Luthor's strategic maneuvers, the introduction of powerful adversaries like the Engineer and possibly Ultraman, and the emergence of cosmic threats such as the Sun Eater. These elements set the stage for a high-stakes confrontation that could redefine the dynamics within the DC universe. And that wraps up our deep dive into the Superman trailer. From the Justice Gang's debut to potential Phantom Zone theories, Krypto's showdown with the Engineer, and the possible introduction of Ultraman, this movie is shaping up to be packed with bold choices, some exciting, others, well, questionable. Whether you're hyped about the comic-accurate powers, concerned about costume design, or just curious how it'll all connect to the broader DCU, there's a lot to unpack, and I'm glad we could do it together. Let me know in the comments what you thought of the trailer. What do you love, what are you unsure about, and who do you think will steal the show? As always, this is Celestial, and you've been watching Pop Nexus, where we break down all things comics, movies, and everything in between. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon for more updates. I will catch you in the next one.